1460 WVOX.
Stay tuned now for the Racing for Heroes radio show with host Brett Morash on 1460 WVOX.
Hey, Racing for Heroes fans. It is Friday, June 25th. We are here on WVOX 1460 AM, streaming worldwide on WVOX.com. We're super lucky today. We're actually going to have a little bit of fun on the show. I have some prior guests coming on halfway through the show telling us about what they're up to, but also what their first car that they got to drive was when they got a license. As I realized when I started talking to people, most of these folks have been driving since they were like 6 years old in go-karts, so that doesn't count. But our first person up, though, is Ken Coach. He is one of the best drivers out there right now, especially in autocross world, and we have him on the phone. Kenton, how are you doing, man?
Oh, not bad. Not bad, actually. At the go-kart track today.
Oh, good man. My kids were at a go-kart track yesterday, but it's like an electric go-kart track, and they've been used to the one down at VIR, which is gas-powered, and they were like,
Yeah.
Dad, it was so slow. I'm like,
Yeah. No, we got real go-karts here today.
Oh, it's no joke, man. It's no joke. Are you down at VIR today?
No, I'm at GoPro Motorplex, actually, right now.
Oh, where's Go-Kart Motorplex?
GoPro Motorplex is in Mooresville.
But down in Carolina. Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Are you actually racing today, or are you just out on the track having fun?
Actually, just out here having fun with my wife. Yeah, she's we're both out here karting.
Gotcha.
Feeling good.
Well, we watched actually kart crash videos last night, and my daughter was like, those go a lot faster than even the VIR ones do. And I'm like, they do, right? Because they're not slow. I mean, the ones are like kind of pro level.
No. These things are quick. We're almost touching 70 miles an hour here at the end of the back straightaway.
Oh, really?
Oh,
wow.
Yeah. So these things are we're going pretty good. They're KA 100 engines, and yeah, we've got some Tony karts that we're out here thrashing around on.
Nice. That is amazing.
Yep.
Yeah, no, those things are incredibly fast, and I always am super impressed when I see that stuff. So first thing first, Ken, I know that you are owner of your own racing company. Tell us a little bit about that.
So essentially, actually, what it is my own. It's an LLC for tax purposes, essentially.
Sure. That's okay, man.
My company is I do driver coaching and driving as well. So that's kind of what that's what I do. So my business is helping amateurs become better racing drivers.
Mm-hmm.
So and then on the occasion, if they would like to race with me in a series, then that's kind of what we do. So they hire me to drive with them and coach them in that racing series. So that's kind of what I'm doing right now, racing in the SRO GT4 Sprint X.
Yeah, and you have an Audi, right? Is that your car?
We are racing an Aston Martin Vantage GT4 car.
Gotcha. I was looking at your website and I saw the Audi Sport car. I wasn't sure if that was still your vehicle.
No worries. Yeah, this year's an Aston.
Yeah. So how did you get into this in the first place? I mean, was it starting as a go-karts as a kid and just like good driver?
Yep. Yeah. When I was 8 years old, really when I was 6, we saw a go-kart for the first time, and I was like, man, that looks like it could be fun. But they told me I had to be 8. The people that had the karts. So, so the day I turned 8, I was like, Dad, we gotta get a go-kart here. And
that's amazing.
Sure enough, that year Santa came and brought a little go-kart for me to start racing on. It was all bent and slow and a terrible go-kart, but it was a great go-kart to learn on.
That is amazing. Yeah, but so that's how you started, and then how did that progression go to driving what you're doing now?
So from there, I mean, I came from a family that didn't really have a whole lot of, I guess, financial support there.
Sure.
So go-karting was really all my parents could afford to support me in. And then when we, in order for me to kind of shift up, it was never a thing that was like karting was never meant to be like, oh, it's going to be a living. This is what I'm going to do. Racing is not like it wasn't what it is now, what we thought it was going to be then. So we went and I went and did a Skip Barber 3-day racing school when I was 15 years old, and the instructors there were like, "You're actually pretty good. You should do our karting shootout."
That's amazing.
So I did the karting shootout and got some scholarship money to compete in their Formula Car series.
Oh wow!
And then kind of started from there. Mazda had a Road to 24 system that Mazda's like you race Mazdas up the ladder system, and then ultimately you get a chance to maybe race in the Daytona 24.
Oh wow!
And with each step of the ladder, if you win the championship, they give you the financial support to move up. So from karting all the way to the Daytona 24, I was able to win 4 championships in a row to get to that point. So
that's amazing.
I was fortunate enough to take advantage of the opportunities that I had, and had some success along the way.
And did you get a chance to do the Daytona 24?
Yeah, I did. I ran in LMPC in 2016 in WeatherTech, and we actually won that year.
Wow, that's incredible. And how many drivers were there besides you? Is it like 3 other drivers?
3 other drivers were the guys, and it was Steven Simpson, Mikhail Goigberg, and Chris Miller were the guys that I drove with.
Yeah, because that's pretty grueling. I mean, obviously, not only on the driver, but the car as well.
Yes. Thankfully, the PC cars are pretty robust.
Yeah. Well, a lot of cars don't finish those races. I mean, as you know.
Yeah, a lot of it's definitely. It's funny as the years have gone on, the car's gotten more reliable, and the days of trying to take care of the equipment are gone. It's just an all-out sprint race for 24 straight hours.
Yeah. Well, that's amazing. And then, are you in the saddle for like 2 hours at a shot, or how does that work?
Yeah, it can be anywhere between 2 to 4 hours at a time, and I've been in the car at one point for 4 to 4.5 hours, and yeah, it's a long time going flat out.
Oh yeah, well, especially at the speeds that those things can operate at. But let's talk about like you giving driving training. Like, how does that work? I mean, how do people find you and see you on the track, and then want you to be in the car with them?
It's really been a word of mouth thing. As I've come up through the ladder system, the people that I've coached generally are the peers that I've raced with. So racing in IMSA Lights cars in 2015, I got to know a lot of the teams there. And same thing in MX5 Cup, I got to know a lot of the teams in MX5 Cup. And when you have success in those series, it helps. Those people maybe want to learn from you. So that's kind of how I was able to grow some of my clientele, was through that. And then, as you continue in this sport, the more people that you work with, the more people, talk to others, and, it's a word of mouth thing. I really don't advertise at all. It's just the people that I meet when I'm at the track are the people that I usually work with.
Oh, wow. Okay. Gotcha. That makes a lot of sense. And you have a website too, right? If I want to go and share that, what is that?
Yeah, it's KentonCookRacing.com. My first name, last name, obviously, my last name is spelled Koch, so that's the weird part about it. We pronounce it Cook, but it's a German pronunciation.
Right.
It's KentonCookRacing.com.
Well, it's a good race car driver name. In fact, the guys in the sound booth were telling me earlier they were impressed that I always have these people on that have like these awesome race car driver names, like Dick Trickle.
Oh my goodness.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, my parents actually got my name from a pillow in a baby like a store. They saw the name on a pillow, and they were like, "That's it. That's what we're going to name our kids." So
that's amazing.
Sure enough, that's where my name came from.
That's amazing. I'm super impressed with that. No, it's like I said, it's like an amazing name for a driver. So now, what's next steps for you? Like, where do you go from here?
So where we're going from here, I'm going to Maui. Is where I'm going. My next trip, I'm going on vacation.
With the family, right? The wife.
Yeah, with my family and whatnot. So we're headed out there for a week and a half vacation, and to hang out there for my birthday as well.
Now, are you planning on driving?
We're the next race I'm racing in is Road America.
Okay.
In the middle of August.
Oh, okay.
We'll have some coaching and testing in between now and then, though.
Oh, that's great. That's great because I'm
Yeah.
always impressed with like the Road America races. I mean, those things just are incredible, and and it's one of those ones that like it's something that people can do.
Yeah. Yeah. No, Road America is a good place.
And then so now when you go to Hawaii, I'm sure you get your whole trip set up, but are you going to get like a Magnum PI Ferrari 306 or something like that, and then
Who do you think I am?
visit all the
definitely not. We're
locations?
probably going to be getting some Toyota Camry that's the cheapest thing we can find. Yeah, race car drivers are cheap people, so that's one thing.
I got you.
Depending on who you are, if you're Denny Hamlin, then you have a multi-million-dollar mansion on Lake Norman. But I certainly don't make that kind of money.
No. None of us do. None of us do in this world, except for just the people at the very top. That's amazing. And listen, so I guess, the other question we had, and we're going to ask our guests that are coming on here in a few minutes, is what was the first car that you got to drive that you actually required a license for? Because obviously you race car drivers start like at 5 years old driving go-karts. So
yeah.
I know that's not the right answer.
Yeah, the first car I had was a manual V6 2005 Mustang, and it was a convertible at that.
Nice.
That I eventually cut the muffler off of, and was that guy running around town in my V6 Mustang, thinking it was really cool.
That's amazing.
So, and hey, it was a great car for the first car.
No, it is a great car.
There's plenty of worse cars to have. But if I were to look back on what car I would really want,
yeah,
I think I might get an E36 BMW,
nice.
Like that old late 90s BMW.
That would actually be pretty slick, I think, because I think that's got all the horsepower and the performance that you're looking for, and it's probably affordable when you were as a kid.
Yeah, it was honestly probably cheaper than the Mustang that I got, and it was probably something that I might have kept for longer. Is that straight six and whatnot? I'm a bit of a BMW fan now, so the sound of the straight six is always a good noise.
No, it is. I think I told you earlier. My first car was a 1977 Mercury Cougar with a 351 Windsor engine. It was like a land yacht. It was like enormous.
Yeah.
You could watch the fuel gauge go down
Nice.
while you were driving on the highway. So it was definitely like a very end of before the oil crisis car. But it was fun.
Funny.
But my brother,
my sister actually had a Mercury Cougar too, but it was the one nobody wanted. It was the front engine, front wheel drive, automatic, like 2001, like. It's not the Mercury Cougar.
No, it was like a crappy version of like the Thunderbird from like the 80s almost. It was like I kind of remember them. Like, that's not a fun car. And that's probably why she's not a race car driver.
No, she did race go-karts, however, and she was pretty good.
Oh, was she?
She raced karts like when she was 15. My dad made her, so she had some skills before she got her license, and she was really good. Like, and I'm not like, she was actually really good, like surprising. But she just never kept with it.
Oh, that's funny. What is she doing now? She's not obviously. Is she supporting you, or what's her thing?
No, well, I mean, she is. Yeah, I mean, my whole family supports me, but she is a mother of 4 children under 5.
Oh boy. Okay. Yeah. So that's a full-time job and a half for sure.
Yes.
For sure. Yes. Well, that's great. Well, and Ken, one last time before I let you go, could you just tell everyone like where to find some more information about you?
Yeah, I mean, on Facebook, usually, and Instagram are the 2 best places if you'd like to reach me or follow me. Those get regularly updated on things like that. So yeah, Kenton Cook Racing is a simple way to search in there, and you'll be able to find me on Instagram or Facebook.
Outstanding. All right. Well, thanks so much. I appreciate it. And Ken, listen, good luck in your racing. Good luck at Road America, and of course, good luck on your vacation. Well deserved. So, with that, we have, and so thanks again, Ken. Great. And with that, everyone, we have our Racing for Heroes race car driver, Adam Benaway, who's still on active duty. Just a quick check-in with Adam, see how things are going. Adam?
Hey, good morning, Brett. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Doing all right. Finally got the car back together.
Yeah, well, can you tell everyone what happened? I know you're pretty far into the racing season right now. So what happened?
Yeah, so I've had a kind of a stint of bad luck the last 3 weeks, or last 3 events. Kind of got tangled up in some carnage on the track, and it kind of got to the point beyond repair. So I had to go get the chassis, what they call reclipped, where they put a new front end and a rear end on the car.
Oh, wow.
So I'm in reset mode, rebuild mode. Basically got a whole new chassis, and it's never a matter of if, it's always a matter of when. And I've gone a year with being pretty clean, and my time came.
Well, who knocked you off the road, though? I remember there was a little bit of a story behind this, though.
Oh, well, which time?
You pick. Dealer's choice.
No, it started off. It started off with a pretty big event about a month ago. I was passing another driver on the high side on turn 3 and 4, and we were clear coming off 4, and we went all the way down the front stretch side by side, and then she decided to come up high right before we went into turn 1. It was a young driver, a developmental driver from a big race team out in Charlotte, and what I feel like happened is she was just going through her race line checklist of, oh, I need to be high going into turn 1,
right,
and not really having the on track situational awareness. But it's racing, it happens, and I just took the short end of the stick on that one.
Well, hopefully next time you won't have as much of a problem. Hey, listen, before we have our next guest who's getting queued up here in a few minutes, and I'm going to ask the question the way I mean it. What is the first car that you owned that you actually had to have a license for? Because I'm assuming you had like go-karts and stuff when you were younger.
I did. So I grew up in northern Michigan, and I had a 92 S10 Blazer, like the little 2-door version. My uncle got it on a trade deal with something, I can't remember what it was, but it was black. It had black tinted windows, kind of big tires on it, a little cowl induction hood, and of all things, purple racing stripes.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. What year was this thing?
It was like a 90. It was actually a hybrid 91, 92, because all those models are the same.
Oh, sure.
And I drove that for my junior and senior year in high school, and then when I shipped off to Fort Bragg, I sold it to my cousin.
Oh man, what did he do with it? It's not still chucking around, is it?
Still not. I don't know what they did with it, to be honest. He drove it for a couple years, and then I think it junked out.
Oh, that's too bad. Well, I think you probably heard me mention that my brother drove my '77 Cougar when I was on deployment, and he was using, because I put a CB radio in a public address system in. And what a lot of people don't know is my family owned a trucking company when I was a kid. And so we always had CB radios in the car, even when the trucking company went away. And so what ended up happening was he decided to park it, the front of it, on a lake, because they were doing hockey games and he was doing the announcing. And then, of course, it's like a '77 Cougar, so it's like huge. It went right through the ice and like flooded the whole engine out and trashed it. So by the time I got back, my parents had junked it. And I had ended up with a 1986 Thunderbird, which was horrible after that one.
Was it the V8 Thunderbird?
No, of course it wasn't the V8 Thunderbird. It was the V6 Thunderbird. It was, and the oil leaked out of the top of it like a sieve, and it was like brown, like I can't say on the radio. It was, let's just say it was brown, and the switches didn't work right. So my dad did not have a good metal shop. We had a good wood shop, and I actually fabricated knobs and switches out of wood to replace like the broken plastic. So it was so bad.
And that's what started your Marine life.
No, I always wanted to go to where I went for undergrad at the Maritime Academy. It was like a 5-year-old. So anyway, but Ian, excuse me, Adam, thanks for calling in. I'm wishing you good luck for the rest of the season, and I'll be down in Virginia again here pretty soon. So catch up with you there. Okay.
All right, Brett, take care.
Yeah, be well. All right, everyone. And then just to keep it international right now, we do have Ian Bradbury on the line, calling from the first NAFA. As you probably all remember, Ian was probably one of the more interesting guests we had talking about peacekeeping operations around the globe. Ian, are you on the line?
I am on the line. Good morning to you, Brett.
Good. How's the Canada doing right now?
Oh, it's you know what? Some of our restrictions are starting to ease. We're getting some great summer weather here right now, and it's coming along pretty well.
Well, listen, I'm looking forward to the COVID restrictions going away in Canada, probably as much as you are, because next year we're going to try to have a cross-border veterans Race of Heroes races coming up. So my buddy is setting up Racing for Heroes Canada with like a Canadian flag, and I think they're going to do like a beaver or something like that instead of the eagle. But we'll see.
Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. So catch us up. What's First NAF up to right now?
It's we just finished submitting a couple of proposals for some work in and around the Balkan region, looking at some youth-centric programming for prevention of extremism.
Yeah.
And otherwise, it's big annual review time for us. We do our annual reviews in the summer.
Gotcha.
And so we're reviewing all our programs from last year, all our engagements from last year, and taking out some best practices, lessons learned, and learn from whatever mistakes we made along the way.
Yeah, no, for sure. And in fact, I was talking to Cecilia, our mutual friend, the other day. Hopefully, you guys will help with the CRTG with some work out in Somalia.
Yeah, well, I hear that there's some possibilities for us to be engaged in there. The CRTG does some really fantastic work as it relates to children and extremism. And in fact, there's also a little side project that we're working on as well to develop a risk assessment tool for just really digging deep into what risks these children pose, particularly after standards have been implemented, and finding better ways to bring them back from their extremism and get them onto a better path in life. So some really great work getting done there.
But I think that's critical. I mean, at the end of the day, right? Because when you do have these, youth that are affected by war, they're listening to whatever they're hearing. I mean, no different than kids in America or Canada are hearing what they're hearing. And then, that really sets them up for the future. So in order to kind of get these kids to go sort of a path of peace and civility, you got to hit them early and, make sure that it's sustainable.
Absolutely. The pathways towards empowerment versus the pathways towards radicalization share a number of commonalities. And, there are some key and critical differences in there as well that lead to the end result. So what we want to, mostly try to do is capture those commonalities and empower these youth, bring them into a mindset and a perception where they feel that they're contributing members to, their local society, to their regions, and that they're empowered to be engaged. And usually when you can replace those sort of elements with the more nefarious, against the more nefarious stuff, you can see some pretty positive change pretty quickly when it comes to youth. Children and youth are so malleable and so fantastic in their ability to adapt and learn. It's wonderful to work with them sometimes.
Absolutely. And Ian, we're kind of getting to the last few minutes of our show here. I wanted to ask you, like we've been asking all the guests today, what was the first vehicle you got to drive that you required, I guess, a license for? Because I'm sure up in Canada, you probably had snowmobiles and all that sort of stuff up there. Or at least in my mind's eye, I want you to have snowmobiles if you live in Canada.
Absolutely. Growing up, it was there were definitely some dirt bikes and snowmobiles, things like that around. But my first vehicle actually licensed, I was a late driver. I came from a large family in a fairly rural area. I had a bicycle and 2 feet and a heartbeat that got me where I was going. So it was actually a Bombardier Iltis. In the Canadian Armed Forces was my first licensed vehicle to drive.
Oh my gosh.
Open canopy, Jeep style. The thing pretty much had a snowmobile engine in it. You had to be cranking on the gas pedal and speed shifting sometimes to get it to go through the gears.
No way.
Real interesting little beast. Fun story about it. Actually, on that course, I did get one of them stuck in a tree.
In a tree? Wait a sec. How did you get it up into the tree in the first place? Let's take a step back here.
Well, I wasn't the greatest driver. I didn't have the most experience, and I'm in one of these things. And truth is, I might have a total of an hour and a half of driving experience by the point of this happening. And we were in the back of the training area, and the master corporal at the time, who was guiding me, just kept telling me to give it more gas and to not be afraid of it. And as we were coming around a bend and up over a little hill, I lost control over it, going a little bit too fast, and we got stuck in a tree.
That's incredible. That's incredible. I'm sure the master corporal is telling the story a whole different way. It's not at all funny to him, I'm sure.
I tell you, I was just listening. Hey, he said give her, I gave her.
Gave her the gas, give him the beans. So, all right, well, Ian, thanks again. And listen, I'll hope to check in with you here shortly, and we can talk more about peacekeeping maybe in the future. So with that, thanks so much, Ian.
Thank you so much, Brett. Really looking forward to Racing for Heroes Canada as well.
Yeah, you bet. All right, everyone, we are getting to the very end of the show. So before we end off with the real Doug Lane and a little further down the road, we will not be here next week. We're going to the July 4th holiday, so Race for Heroes taking a little break. I will be out on my sailboat watching the fireworks on July 4th. So I'll be living large, but please check out our website, www.racingforheroes.org. And with that, please cue the music. Thanks, guys.